Hello, YouTube. I want to talk about the show that came on BET Monday night. It was called Rest in Power, the Trayvon Martin story. It documents what happened to Trayvon Martin during the night that he was shot, actually stopped, murdered by George Zimmerman. He was a neighborhood watch, fake cop, basically. He wanted to be a cop, he had aspirations. He carried a concealed weapon and he stopped Trayvon Martin. He basically lied, called the police during that whole hunt, and said he had something in his waist. He had his hand on his waist. He had stares and looking at him and this and that. And then he says he was attacked by Trayvon Martin. This is after he was basically following Trayvon Martin through a gated community. Trayvon Martin was going back to his father's girlfriend's house, who lived in this gated community in Florida. And he was murdered senselessly based off of the color of his skin. All he had was a bag of Skittles, not a gun. But I don't think that would be the reason why. He could have had anything, Doritos, whatever. He still would have met a fatal end because he had a stalker that was following him with all the entitlements in the world, believing that this little 17-year-old kid was a criminal because he wore a hoodie. He was black walking through this neighborhood. This is very sad. You know, in the first minute or two, I was outraged in the first minute or two because what it did was take me back to when it all started, when it all began. And it was so much outpouring from everybody from all different walks of life about this story. And what it did was fuel the idea that Black lives don't matter. And when it came to him being a symbol or Trayvon Martin being a, basically a hero from the grave, that really makes him legendary. It makes him a legend, makes him a myth. You know, he was definitely someone that you wouldn't think that would be groundbreaking, but he was. His death was very groundbreaking because it showed that racism is really still alive, you know, to take a child based off of their skin color, but to create the profile, create the intrigue, the mystery, the scandal of what is he doing? Why is he here? He has every right to be here just like you, but we turn it into a salacious humor about, okay, well, you know, when you see a black man walking down the street in a somewhat good neighborhood, he definitely has no place. He doesn't belong here. Um, this is America. It really is. You can go anywhere you damn well please. And for George Zimmerman to follow, lie, and get off, he got off, basically. You know, he was able, what pissed me off the most was that he was able to go and revisit the crime scene, not being arrested. I felt like he could have been handed a coffee while he was explaining what happened, but you only heard his side of the story. Why wasn't he in handcuffs if he was going to revisit the scene? Why wasn't he in handcuffs? It's because he was not charged. He was not charged. He used the stand your ground law, which is probably the one of the dumbest laws ever. It was meant to protect victims supposedly, but it just gives people a right to kill you. It gives people a right to kill you and get away with it. So if you was a mass murderer, this would be perfect for you. If you were a serial killer, this would be perfect for you. But it's really too easy. It's really too easy to be able to get off. If this was a reverse issue, if this was a black neighborhood watch patroller or wannabe, and he stalked a white kid, and the white kid had nothing really negative or bad going on. He had a bag of Skittles. You know, this would never have happened. But if it did happen, believe you, that black man would be in jail. He would be buried under the jail. And, you know, people wouldn't really be really on his side or defense. Even black people, they wouldn't tolerate someone being stalked, watched, and eventually killed with no rhyme or reason other than the color of their skin. I mean, it's unacceptable, but to have him free walking around still carrying weapons and still having the freedoms that he should not have is really disappointing. That's what's the disappointing part. It is horrific. You know, I really feel bad for the family still. It still pisses me off. This is the beginning of a docu-series that's coming on BET every Monday. So it has multiple episodes of this story, the Trayvon Martin story. Again, it's called Rest in Power, the Trayvon Martin story. You let me know what you think about this. I mean, how did it make you feel? Were you enraged again? It re-enraged me about the situation and the state of America. You let me know. You can rate, comment, subscribe to my channel. My Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter links are at the bottom. Again, please subscribe. You know, I do have a book called Scare the Light, The Dream Memoirs of Russell Banks. And I have a funny story about this book. The thing is, when my publishing company came up with a cover, like I kind of had an idea what I wanted the cover to look like. But then when they actually showed me the cover of this book, let me see if I can put it up close. Oh, I don't know if you can see that. Let me see. Okay, when the video comes on, you'll be able to see the cover more closely. But if you look at the cover, look at it's a it's about a teen hero that goes in and out of worlds and has abilities and saves two worlds. But it's really has a lot of drama issues as well as fantasy, fun fiction type of things in there. And the thing about it is, when they gave me this cover, the first person I thought of was Trayvon Martin, because the character Russell Banks in my book, they have him on the cover wearing a gray hoodie and carrying a sword. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. I wish I would have even came up with the idea to even mention Trayvon Martin and him being a hero. It's an idea that I wish I had, but I didn't mean this to happen. The publishing company came up with that. So I really do appreciate it, because when I see this cover, it does remind me of Trayvon Martin, because he's wearing a hoodie and he's turned around and he's carrying a sword. And you think about somebody that could slay the dragon, he definitely could. But if he was given a chance, Trayvon Martin's back was turned when he was actually shot. And the thing is that if we want change, if we want to do things in a way that is right, what we have to do is respect each other first. Respect someone's color, respect someone's presence, what they bring to the world. Even if they don't bring you any value personally, or you don't think they bring you value, you respect people as you respect yourself. You let me know, hit me up. Talk to you later. Peace.